Have you ever struggled to understand the meaning of a variable or function in someone else's code because the name was difficult to pronounce or decipher? Using pronounceable names in your code is an important practice that can greatly improve its readability. If the names are not pronounceable, it can be harder to understand and work with the code, and it can also increase the risk of errors and confusion. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the importance of using pronounceable names in your code and how it can help to improve its quality. We'll also compare good and bad examples of naming conventions to see the difference it can make in the clarity and understandability of your code. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced developer, using pronounceable names in your code is an essential practice that can help to make your code more organized, readable, and maintainable. Using pronounceable names in your code is important because it makes it easier to understand and work with. If the names are not pronounceable, it takes longer to figure out what they mean and how they are used. Using clear, descriptive names helps to improve the readability and maintainability of the code. This makes it easier for others, or yourself, to understand and work with the code, and reduces the risk of errors and confusion. For example, the names in the good example are easy to pronounce and provide clear information about the purpose and function of the variables. If you look at the bad example, it is much harder to figure out what the variables represent. In general, it is best to choose names that are descriptive and easy to pronounce, rather than using abbreviations or single letters that are difficult to understand or interpret. This will help to improve the readability and maintainability of the code and make it easier for others to understand and work with. Now let's get to the takeaways. Here's what you should remember from the last module and apply in practice to write better code. Using pronounceable, clear, and descriptive names in code is important for improving its readability and maintainability. Pronounceable names make it easier to understand and work with the code. Names that are difficult to pronounce or are abbreviations or single letters can make the code harder to understand and work with and increase the risk of errors and confusion. It is best to choose names that are easy to pronounce and provide clear information about the purpose and function of variables.